Brad here. I wanted to change the right-hand control module on my F3 base model. It's a 2023, but it should be the same for earlier models up until to 2024, which they changed a lot. So the base model does not have cruise control. So the cruise control on the S is right here. So I heard on the forums that you could change this whole module and add the cruise control, and it's just a plug and play thing. I couldn't find a video that showed how involved it was to take apart the bike and to do this. So let me show you how much I had to take apart. So this is the new module here. I've installed it. It's all ready to go. You basically have to take apart the bike. The easiest way, I tried doing it, trying to fiddle it through here, trying to fit it through this tiny little hole with all of the shroud on here. It was nigh on impossible. So what I had to do, you have all these bolts all the way around the edge. You have to unscrew all of those. You have to disconnect your nose piece here. That pops right off. And then this big side panel piece, you have to pop that off. Then you have all of this room to access it. So the biggest issue I found, there's a very small portion here where you've got to fiddle it through. You have to squeeze it on its side. You can see the size of this thing right here, okay? So the biggest trick is to fit it through on its side. It has to go this way. You have to squeeze it through, pop it up like this, and then with the new one, squeeze it down the exact way. It does not fit through this hole any other way. Be careful that you're not pinching your wires. Be careful that you're not squeezing things too much. There's a lot of metal here. You don't want to damage any of your wires. So that goes through here, feeds down, comes in underneath, feeds through there, and I've got it through here for now. It will come down through this point, down, and this is where it connects up. Easy plug and play system, that's not a problem. My next challenge is to get the shrink wrap, the holder bit, around all of these wires. Basically they all fit back in here, so it will look just like this one coming up to the handlebars, and it'll come through the little braces here and here. So I've got it started on here. I was feeding it up through here. You get the wires clamping just within it. Slide it up and just keep it coming all the way along here, just to have it good and protected all the way through from the heat, from any chance of other parts moving and damaging your wires. Okay, so I've got this all sleeved on nice and tight. So this will fit within this little bracket here. It gets it same. You've got to get this clipped in here so that it slides properly and maintains the right position for when we clamp all of this back on, and then it comes through to the handlebars. There's a couple spots that they always had. They had a bunch of little zap straps all the way along here. There was one here, here. The hardest one to get at was this one down here. It straps onto the pipe here, and it connects these two together so they're not floating around. I was trying to get at it from this side, trying to get a piece in there. It was really hard to cut. Once I took this whole top panel off, everything was easy access. Saves a lot of time just to take off all the screws. Make sure that when you do, you have everything itemized. So I know exactly what each section is. It's labeled as to where it goes. I have it sitting in the pieces that need to be taken off. Just makes life a lot easier when you're putting it back in, so you don't lose the screws. Put them back where they were, there and there. These little ones, they're so easy for them to fall down, they break. I had to disconnect this head unit just so I could get at these two screws that were down here to be able to pop this whole sucker off. Bit of a pain popping this top piece back on. This one will slide into this bracket. You can see that little tab there, just fits right in like that. Then these tabs, they have to be bent just to get in there. Just get one side, bend the other side, pop it right in there, as you can see, then everything will fit. Make sure your wires are safe and get out of the way. That's just a camera floating there right now. I'll get after putting these screws all back on. All right, so I've got those 3 bolts in here. These here, those 3, both sides, clamps that section down good and tight. Now this one is just clamps on top here. There's 2 little screws here, one on the end, and then these 3 here, long ones. So that'll bolt that sucker right in tight there. But as I was just reminded, you have to put this piece on first, because it clips in, and then with these little tabs, you pop that back in there. Then you've got to get this thing back in, your little nose cone. Once that's clipped back in, you've got those 2 screws on the side, as you can see right there. One there, one on the other side. And then through the bottom here, you've got a bolt that's got to go through right there. Pops right through the bottom there, and then that part is attached.